up, guys? Welcome to Tsunami Talks. This is the very first episode.
Hell
yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is a little bit different from the typical adventures and installations because, sometimes you want to sit down with your homie, talk about the stuff you love. And, today we're going to talk about our first cars, when we got them, what we did to them. A lot of fun stories with that. A lot of near-death experiences, you know what I'm saying? So, Bryan, I remember. So your first car, it was a 2014 Civic, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised you remember the year.
I remember. I love that car, dude.
High key.
But what did you do, and how did you end up, getting it?
Oh man, the rice machine. Don't even get me started. The first thing I did. All right,
Yeah.
so, for context, I'm like a big anime dude, and before I even owned a car, I went to this car meet called Sugoi Saturday.
I think it was Sugoi Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I went too.
Yeah. It was like I bought a bunch of stickers. No, like I was like, oh shit, this is a cool Itachi one from here or there,
Yeah, you had like a whole.
Yeah, I bought a whole
shopping
bag,
right?
And I didn't know. I was like, why is it so expensive? It's worth though.
You spent like $100.
Yeah. And my brain was like, I gotta put them all on my car. Every single sticker that I bought,
I remember.
I had to put it somewhere. I had it like on my my rear mirror. I had it everywhere. It was like covered from head to toe on my windows. I had it head to toe. I even bought like this Broadway mirror, the rectangular ones. I put stickers on that too.
You put stickers on everything, bro?
Yeah, no, I stick them on everywhere on my car.
Didn't you have them on your engine bay too?
Yeah. I mean,
everywhere.
even on my WRX now, I still carry that tradition.
Dude.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're a teenager and you get your first car, stickers are cool. And
yeah.
Okay, I don't love sticker bombs, but if I rewind like 6 years and you got like $20 is a lot of money.
$20 is a lot of money, by the way.
Stickers are a great mod.
Oh,
I would personally say if I'm like 15 and I got my first whip and I got like 10 stickers that I love, dude, come on.
Yeah, no. Okay, you know what's even better than a $20 mod?
What?
A free mod.
Free. Okay, what'd you do?
No, you're there. I mean, we're there for everything, but like I took off my muffler,
No, I don't think I was there to do that though.
What?
I experienced it, but I think you and some other friends ended up doing it. Yeah.
So initially, I wanted to keep it on to like make it look like I had it on. So we stuck like washers to create a gap. And I created like the typical Honda lawnmower, and when it was like, bzzz,
So you gave yourself an exhaust leak.
It's terrible. So like what was even better? Like we decided to just take off the muffler entirely. It's bad. Like for context, the Civic CVT.
Right.
No gears. So the entire time you see this loud humming drone. Like there's no like gear shift. It's just constantly.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think we went on a road trip.
It was terrible because
and I sat in the back.
Yeah, no, it's worse in the back.
And it was like duh the whole entire way. And I remember I got out of the car and I stumbled and I was like, whoa. That was bad because it was hammering like right in the back of your ear.
Yeah. You're sitting like right under
where we took it off, or you guys took it off.
Yeah,
dude. But we thought we were hot.
No, for real.
You riding around loud as hell in your Civic, dude. Come on, you're 16, 15. It wasn't even my car.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And like, of course, to reflect all the hot boy aesthetics, I got it with the hot boy driving. I was like, I felt so bad. Like, at the time, I thought it was cool. I would traumatize my brother. I used to take my brother here.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, watch this drift. And I would literally, like turn off traction and just whip it. Like,
watch this drift in this man's front-wheel drive car.
Yeah, no. I probably almost had a close call with, like, every, like, lane island. Is that what they call them?
The little islands? Yeah.
Yeah. Or, like, every curve. Like, if I could swerve near one, I could almost hit it.
I remember we were at we were heading home from a friend's house. I was sitting in the passenger seat, and Bryan was like, he was at a light and he was taking a left turn.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this is crazy. And Bryan's like, you want to see something? And I was like, what am I trying to see? And he's like, watch this. So he floors it and he just jerks the left turn and like the car understeers. So we're like maybe like 2 inches away from the curb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bryan, please. You're gonna kill me one day.
Oh my god. No. Do you remember that time I tried to overtake some sort of like Volkswagen on
the ramp, right?
Oh, that was that literally like changed my life. After that, like I stopped hooning like that.
Because we almost died.
Yeah, no. So yeah, of course I go to understeer, and so it's kind of like one of those. Is it a 360? No,
it was just an on ramp.
Yeah,
it was just a curvy on ramp.
On ramp downwards. But you know, it's like when you're turning, the freeway's exposed right there. So I thought I was gonna slam into it because I started to understeer.
Right. You thought you were gonna drive onto the freeway traffic.
Yeah.
Right?
So I hella like slam on the brake, swerve as hard as I can, and I go onto like this patch of grass. Thank goodness it was grass.
Yeah.
My brakes were locked up and gone. If it wasn't grass I took the blow, I would have slammed straight into like a bridge.
Yeah, my hands were getting sweaty thinking about that because I was sitting in front too. I remember we were with your brother. He was in the back, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, I just froze up.
No,
all I said was, Bryan.
I literally thought we might have died there, unironically.
Yeah.
We were going to slam straight into a wall at 50 miles an hour, and my brakes were locked up. Like,
all in the name of hooning. Dude, I'm literally getting like clammy palms thinking about it. But I remember we went onto the freeway, like the plants.
Yeah.
And then your brother started screaming at you. He was like, Bryan, what are you doing? He was bright red. I was like, it's kind of funny, but my heart is racing. But dude, good times.
Yeah, no, but even it was so hard to get our car out of
we had to push it.
Yeah, no.
And then I had to go and steer it, and then your brother helped you push it over. Right?
Yeah.
And we got back. But the car was still drivable. It was fine.
Yeah, no, but I ruined the axle.
You did ruin and then there was a bunch of plants in your bumper for the next year.
But like, what's your replacement? You know?
Or dealership purchase.
Yeah.
And dude. Oh, and I remember another thing we did to your car. It wasn't the early 2000s, but we thought it was cool. We saw it in movies growing up. We saw it in the games.
Yep.
And you know, all the homies thought it was cool way back in the day when we were kids, but we did do underglow on your car.
Underglow. Oh, it was like this, like I don't know, it was like blue. I'm colorblind.
It was like a blue purple, blue purple. Yeah.
And I remember I literally went to like Home Depot and bought just a bunch of wire. Yeah, I ripped out the headliner, wired it from the bulb of the dome light.
Right. Yeah.
Ran it through the headliner, like into the airbags. And then just have an exposed wire leading under the car for it.
I remember you had the wire on the right out the door.
Yeah. So like it's still on there to this day, to be honest. My brother today he was like Bryan, like, can I get rid of them again?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
But I remember we went to eat with a couple other friends, and we were driving. You were driving, and I was in the passenger seat again. Mm-hmm. And always story when you're driving, I'm in the passenger seat. It's crazy like that, you know, in coincidence. Mm-hmm. But I remember we pulled up next to some guy, and he was like, "Yo, roll your windows down." And I rolled my window down, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, "You got a wire coming out of your car," and I was like, "Oh,
it's like, purpose on purpose."
Okay, we acted surprised. We're like, "Oh, thank you." But in the back of our minds, we know exactly what was going on, dude. The underglow was hilarious. We thought it was cool. I thought it was cool because we had you, right, and then our friend had it too.
Yeah. So
because he had it first.
Yeah, then we basically just copied him.
We just went and bought like $20 Amazon LED strips before they were popular. Like stuck them on the car.
You know, like they didn't even adhere to well. Like I had to buy like more tape just to get it in.
Yeah, because it said it was for outdoor use, but really, it wasn't that great.
Yeah. We also did it to your car.
Right, my first car.
Yeah, it was the install was a lot worse, but you can run it down.
Right. So for my first car, I got an '02 IS300, the first gen. I got it in the red color, you know, the spicy color.
Milano red?
No. That's a different car color. But I don't remember what the paint code is called or anything like that. But I got it in red. It was the car that my parents let me settle for, not the car I wanted. Remember, I could have bought an S2000 for $9,000.
I remember
before negotiations in like, what was it, like 2015, 2016?
Something like that,
yeah. Before they exploded, essentially. Mm-hmm. But my parents were like, no manual cars. Yeah. It's not safe. No coupes. Not safe. And then my dad was like, if you buy a convertible, you're not a man. And I was like, oh, I'm so sad. Now I look back, and I could have sold it for 3 times the price.
It's an asset, essentially. Yeah.
I'm still so. And it was in yellow too.
Yeah. It's hot.
But yeah, I settled for the Auto IS300. I got it for like $3K, and that was a car. So you mentioned how we did the underglow.
Yeah.
It was way worse. It was way worse.
Yeah, no.
Like I look back and I compare it, and they're like, your Civic was a clean job, dude. Oh my lord! I look back at it and I'm like, this was ghetto. This was bad.
I remember we were literally at our friend's house and we had. Wait, why couldn't you take off your headliner? I
don't think it was like, oh, we couldn't take it off. I think it's just we were lazy.
Okay.
And we just kind of hack jobbed it because it was like, it's just easier.
Yeah. So like, we cut the plastic of the dome light to get the wire through, because we did the same process where we ran the wire through the dome light.
Yeah,
but
what we did was we wired it through that rear middle dome light.
Yeah.
But there was a plastic cap, right? And what we did was, me and a friend, we got a Dremel tool and we just cut out a tiny rectangle.
I remember that, just like going at
and then we just wired it, and then instead of removing the headliner, tucking the wires, making it clean, I just let it loosey goosey into my back seat. So every time I drive around, I was just driving, and it's just behind me right here. Just I see it in my rear view and everything, and I got so many questions. They're like, "Hey, what's that wire for?" And I'm like,
"Don't worry about it.
I just bought the car like that." I lied to so many people because I didn't want to. Okay, there was a lot of clips for the headliner, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And we were like 16, and
that's annoying.
Yeah, I was just lazy, honestly. And look back at it, it's like now we just do the proper job, get it right the first time.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just the hanging wire behind me was a small price to pay for the hot boy underglow, dude. Red car at night with some neon blue purple underglow. Whew! I was matching with our homie too, matching with you too.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the best. And I remember it advertised as $20 outdoor style underglow with the little plastic covering.
Yeah.
But after like a month, the lights, like the individual LED lights, started popping off.
Yeah, I don't know.
So mine was like kind of like someone with messed up teeth. It was just like gone in between. So it was just like light here, no light, light here. It was terrible. But I felt like a god.
$1 million.
$1 million, especially paired with the coils I got.
Oh my! No way. No, back then they were like what, 600?
I got them for like 600 shipped.
That's a lot of money for like a high schooler.
I was like 16, 17,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
600 shipped. I got some Tane coilovers. I think it was the street basis, the one without the top hats.
Yeah,
because I had to reuse my OEMs.
I remember doing that job. Like, kind of went to AutoZone and borrowed one of those
the spring retainer clamps, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We rented them. I think it was for free, but
so
the install, the driving experience, living with them, everything was all bad, dude. All types of bad.
I don't.
Because I remember when the install, we drove it up to our friend's house in Riverside.
Yeah.
And I remember we did it super late. It was like 4 a.m. and we did it super late.
We had we didn't even use the power tool to try to screw it on.
We did everything by hand.
Yeah.
Dude. So like cranking the spring compressor, it was just. I remember we had the most manliest moment ever. We all fist bumped while wrenching. Like what more can you want? Just like that, homies like that. But dude, manual tools, installing, and then removing the OEM top hats off of the OEM strut and spring combo, putting that on, and hoping we don't get blasted by the OEM spring, because some people go crazy with that.
Yeah.
And then I remember we just had a bunch of trouble installing it because we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
We just kind of went for it. I remember we had experience. My bad. Where were we?
No, we were talking about your coils. We just talked about installing them.
Right. The install was a nightmare.
Yeah, like doing it all like early in the night or late in the night.
I think you guys finished it for me.
Yeah.
Because I think we started at like 5 p.m. and then we did all the way to 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys woke up like at like 6, like 2 hours later or something.
I don't know.
And then went and finished it because we slept over at the homie's house.
Yeah, but like I was stranded out here. Like you were my ride back.
Exactly.
So it was.
So we were both stranded essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you guys woke up early and then finished the install.
Yeah.
I think we had to cut some stuff to get it out of the
way.
way.
Yeah, no, we cut like parts of the
chassis. I think
basically
we just drilled out like a tiny, like maybe a centimeter of the chassis.
Yeah, because we couldn't get it past the wheel well. Now we know. You just like drop the control arms, and then there's so much more room. Oh
just
well.
Do stuff right and don't be dumb. Literally, just do it correctly. It's not easy. But the install was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But living with it,
ooh.
The ride height, the ride quality, terrible. Oh my goodness! I made a vow to myself. And everyone should listen. You listen. Y'all listen. I listen to myself. Don't buy cheapo coilovers. It's just not worth it. I thought I was hot boy. As per the underglow and all this nonsense.
Yeah, like being lowered, like...
But I slammed it.
I
was chassis on the floor. Like, dude, I remember... riding around, I think I'm cool, and my wheels are tucked on no arm stock, everything except the maxed out coilovers. And I'm surprised for cheap coilovers they went that low.
Yeah, low key.
But the ride, in my head, I think I was just delusional. 17, 16 delusional.
Yeah.
I thought it was hot. Driving around, all low, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm hella low. Driving over railroads, potholes. Every time I'm just cruising, boom, boom, just bottom out on everything. It was so bad. And I remember I think it's just because we didn't install it correctly or we didn't tighten something, but it would always clunk. Like on the fronts, speed bumps, dips, driveways, it's just driving, kunk, and we just did it wrong. We're just dumb. And then, the ride height was one thing, but it wasn't even comfortable. Like, and it wasn't even performance. Like, I think maybe that was user error and it's just we installed it dumb. But I regret buying it. Every single step of the way, I regret everything. If I would go back, entry level is $1,000, bro. Nothing less. I wouldn't buy anything less. But 600 was a lot at the time, man.
Oh yeah,
like, 600 was a ton, and really, it was fun. It was we look back on it, and riding around, I felt cool with my underglow and my coilovers, slam tucked wheels. I thought I was crazy, man. But and then what else did I do?
I mean, you have the small bits like the grill with the bowl ring or something like that. Do you remember the Altezza?
Yeah.
Grill conversion.
I got like a rep Altezza grill off of eBay for like $100. I think that was the first thing I did to the car, like aside from the major coilovers, like bodywork wise. I did the rep grill. Everyone does that.
Yeah.
IS300 owners, typical. But I was trying to be cool, and it was affordable. $100 was a lot back then, and honestly, the grill didn't give me too much trouble. I think I got that on with a homie for in maybe half an hour. Just a couple bolts. Yeah, I remember you weren't there for that, but I did it at his house, his old place. Yeah. And we did it maybe 30 minutes. It wasn't too bad. And it didn't give it too much. Fitment was spot on.
Wow.
I just didn't take care of the car. And it was just dusty and it was just dirty. And I never really washed the car. Paint was rough. The clear started chipping like crazy. Remember my trunk? But that reminds me, the trunk.
On the trunk.
We did a badge delete, huh? Because I remember I bought it with black badges. The previous owner blacked out all the badges. And that's why I got the grill to match. Yeah. But then one day we were feeling kind of silly with it, so we decided to pop them off. Right? I remember you helping me. What did you? I remember what you tried.
I mean, initially you tried the regular adhesive removers like Goo Gone,
Right. And I don't remember any of that working though.
I don't know why we even sprayed a WD-40 for some reason. no, you can use that stuff to remove some adhesives. Yeah, it's pretty good for that. But they were just it's just not coming off. So the third thing we did was like steel wire essentially. Like most people kind of
like steel floss or something like that.
Floss it off.
But that didn't work because we think the previous owner took off the badges, plasti dipped them black, and then instead of using like double-sided tape or like some like regular badge adhesive, I think he used like putty or like some nonsense Bondo
I think
or
that was
something.
close to concrete.
It was terrible. Like we got it off and it was like it felt like cinder blocks.
Yeah, no, like in the end we had a flathead. We just chiseled it off.
Oh, my paint, dude! We chipped off so much paint too.
Oh yeah.
But at the time, I was like, I don't care. And then what we did was we went to Pep Boys.
Yeah.
And we bought a can of paint. We didn't buy primer.
That's why I thought about that. Oh my god, what was the color?
Milano red.
We bought Milano red paint.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it was weird because it went on reddish orange. But I didn't know, but I thought Milano red was is it a Honda color or something like that?
No,
I thought it was more like a candy red. But when it went on the car, I think it's because user error.
Yeah.
We didn't buy base coat, no primer. We didn't buy top coat. We only bought paint because we were broke.
Yep.
So we threw the paint on there. And what we did was, in our heads, we're like, oh yeah, we know cars. So we masked off everything. And we masked off like a rectangle. Right? Like the chip was maybe like that.
Yeah, so you give us some more leeway, right?
So we masked off maybe like a rectangle, like probably like maybe the size of my arm from here to here.
Yeah.
And we sprayed it. I don't remember sanding. I don't remember doing any prep work.
No.
We just taped it off, threw some newspapers on there, and then sprayed. And I think from that point on is when the car went downhill. Because everything else was hot boy, right? We did like the coils, the grill, and everything. It rode kind of funny and all that, but I think from the paint part on, personally, as the owner of that car, the experience went, woo! Because we didn't do it properly, the clear around it started chipping off.
Oh, yeah.
And then it, because I parked the car out in the sun, a bunch of sun fade, and then I was being stupid, and I was a kid, and I didn't want to wash the car because I was lazy.
Yeah.
And it's just, I didn't get to park it in a garage or anything, so parking it outdoors, sun fade, an improper job on the trunk. So the trunk, the whole thing started, like, all the clear was just gone.
Yeah.
From the entire trunk. I don't know what we did wrong, but, dude, that was terrible.
I think that's just old car things, low-key. Like, I mean, at the point that you had bought it, was like a 15-year-old car. 16-year-old. Like, it's not that much older than you.
True.
Relatively.
Yeah.
And like you run into like the issues that come with owning a 15-year-old car.
Yeah.
Like, not just on the outside but the inside. Like
man, okay. So we did mods.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm talking all this crap, but I love the car, okay? It made me feel so cool. I had a bright red car in high school and but I think the car was a lemon. Let me tell you guys about the buying experience, because you weren't there for that.
No, I wasn't.
But, so we went into just, a random plaza parking lot, and it was like midday, and I went with my parents. I think I was 15 at the time when I bought the car, and it was from this shady dude. Like, I remember texting him, because at that time, I was thinking of buying a bunch of other cars, and I messaged a bunch of people, and I got weird replies and no replies, and then I went to a used car dealership, and my parents said, "Oh, you should buy this Corolla. It was in like a beige or like a tan color." And I was like, and we turned it on and went, buck, 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 and we're like, and he wanted like $9,000 for back in the day prices. Like it was like an '02 Corolla, and it sounded like it was knocking. I didn't know at the time. I looked back and I think it was, but he wanted $9,000 for a crazy dealership, dude.
I mean, that's third-party dealerships for you.
True.
Even worse than.
Anyways, we went to the parking lot and we met up with the guy, and. his profile picture originally, when I looked on Facebook and everything, I looked around and he looked like kind of like a shady character, right? But when he pulled up, he was just a regular guy. He was just in a tank top. He was just a nice guy with some glasses. And he told us his story. He was moving out to, I think, Mississippi or Minnesota, something like that. One of the M states out in the Midwest. And I think he was doing like some oil mining or drilling jobs, some blue collar work. Respect to him though, for sure. But he needed to get rid of the car, so he was a motivated seller. So he dropped it. I think he had it listed for 4,400, but I got it for 3 flat. at the time. So, you know, pretty good.
Yeah.
But then again, it was a salvage title. It did have some, you know, wear and tear of that type of car.
Mm-hmm.
But when I bought it, it was a funny experience. I feel like it's a blur, really. All I remember is I got the car, and then my friend, because at the time I was relatively new to driving. It was my first car, and then we just kind of drove it, and I just ended up with it, and we did a bunch of stuff with it. But I feel like that price, the reason why he was cool with lowering it by so much was because the car was just 11. I think it was giving him troubles, and he kind of like band-aid fixed it, and then just passed it off cheap. Because, dude, the mechanical issues on that car, oh my lord, it was terrible. It had misfires, rough idles. It would just die out of nowhere when you're driving it. Like, I'd be rolling on the freeway, engine shut off.
What?
I'm like, what's going on? And like the only thing I know is like slam it into neutral. I'm scared. But like, dude, I remember I was going to school, and it was on an uphill. It was like a little, you know, one of those freeway bridges, like you go on top of the freeways. And I was going, and I was on the upward part, and then the car just started going, and I was like, oh no. So I'm sitting in traffic with my foot on the brake, like gassing it up, like I'm doing a burnout, and I have it in neutral. And then the people around me are like, what is this kid doing? And I'm just sitting there like, oh crap. And then I get to the parking lot and it just dies. Whoa. So I just leave it in the school parking lot, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I need help. I'm scared. Take me home. But dude, and then it wasn't even that big of an issue, but what I did was I had to go through a whole diagnostic process because there was no check engine light. That's the worst part. So, you know, you do your typical, you check your fuel. You know, I'm learning as I go because it's my first car. I'm barely getting in the car, so I didn't really know too much at the time. And I was looking into, it was coil packs, wires, spark plugs, a lot of like ignition stuff. And then I looked into the injectors.
Like fueling.
Yeah, fueling. And it turned out, I looked on forums and stuff. Did a lot of searching. I had to dig a lot, but apparently it was a common issue where you have to replace the VVTi solenoid. And once I replaced that, the car was fine. But the weird thing is, it was fine for like a year after. It was $100 part. It was unbolt, clean the filter, throw the new solenoid in, and it was good. And it was good for like a year. And then like, I remember one day I was pulling it out of my house. Dum 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 dum, and I was like, no, not this again.
Trauma,
dude. Every time we ride on any car and we hit like a bump, but I don't notice, and the car kind of like roughs a little bit, I get so like, I'm like, no, not again, please. And then you know what's the weirdest part? I rev it like crazy, and it fixes. No problem. And to this day, I still don't know. Like maybe someone who's more mechanically inclined than I am knows. And probably someone who is an IS300 master, a connoisseur, is like, this dumb kid doesn't know anything. But dude, it was scary. It was my first car. I didn't know what I was doing, but oh man, that car was a nightmare. And just working on it, but I'm grateful. I sold it for a profit. Haha. But I'm grateful it took all the rough edges and, you know, of learning how to work on cars, learning how to drive, just being a kid and having fun. We did all this dumb stuff, having fun with that. And if I look back on it, I would buy it again. I honestly,
so?
I would. Okay, there's a lot of rough stuff, and I know I talked a lot of crap about it. But I look back and we had so many good memories.
Oh yeah.
Like we attempted to do donuts in it, in my little auto transmission, just full lock and just gas, and like it was fun. Like, it was genuinely pure fun. Like, it's just, we were just doing dumb stuff. And we had a lot of fun. But at the time, we didn't care. Like, life was just easy, man. I just go to school, go home. Hey, guys, you want to go do donuts in my car? And we would just pull up in, like, a back alley with, like, an open space. He's like, all right, you guys ready? Roll down all the windows and just shred some tires. Even though I don't even think we ever did proper donuts in it.
No, we were just driving in circles.
We were just driving in circles really fast. Really fast. Yeah. But would you buy your Civic again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, a guy my age shouldn't have gotten a car so new at the time, to be honest. I feel like if I started off with, like, a car similar to your age, then a lot of the consequences wouldn't have seemed so like dire, you know. Like if I knew that, I mean, I guess I didn't value the car enough at the time.
True.
It's a newer car.
Yeah, it was a 14 back then.
14, and I got it in like 2017, 2018.
So relatively new. I mean, mine was an 02, so.
Yeah, no, and I banged that up like it was like a early 2000s like EK or something.
It was
or
rough.
whatever it was, EM, I think. Yeah,
I think we can both agree that we were both terrible owners.
Yeah, we were terrible.
Shame.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was just that's just how it was. And I'll be completely honest, and I'm sure I can speak for the both of us here. We did not leave the cars better than we found them. The cars were relatively decent when we got. I mean, yours was off of a dealership lot, so
yeah.
I think mine the only like damage when I got it was the paint, and then like it was like a gash in the side skirt and a lower part of the passenger side door, and that's why it was a salvage tow, because I think someone ran it into a curb. But yeah, I messed it up.
We both did.
But thank you to the boom in the car market. You know, no one says that because everyone wants crazy cars now.
Oh yeah.
But I was able to sell it for a profit, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. As for me, I gave the car to my brother, and he has to deal with all the problems now.
Yeah, that car we still have.
Yeah.
We still have that. It's possible to still see it. You know, whenever I go over to his house to kick it, I see it, and the flashbacks start happening.
Oh yeah.
The driving flashbacks. The Bryan driving, I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and then I hear the one word, Bryan's favorite word back in the day. It's a 3-letter word. He says bet, and I know my life is going to end. He says bet, and then he whips it. Oh, it reminds me of so many funny things. I mean, I remember once we went to a McDonald's and we got the food trays. We stuck them under your rear wheels.
Oh, yeah, we just stole them. Like
we had an obsession with donuts back in the day.
Yeah.
We tried it with a front-wheel drive car. We tried it with a rear-wheel drive car that couldn't do donuts. It was great. But it was just fun, and we did dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I love those cars. I would buy it again. I would definitely buy it again.
Yeah, I think I'd buy it again and actually be a respectful car owner this time around.
we know better now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
To the IS, and to the Civic. May your brother never sell that Civic. I think we're good. All right. Well, that's all the time we have today, really, and I hope you guys join us in future talks. Really, we're going to talk more about our future cars, our current cars, and really just please remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Laters.